Hello, my viewers. Let us begin our session where we have left. So we are on the topic of 3 marks questions, very important, likely questions of social science of SLC Karnataka State syllabus. So let us begin our session, right, with the 24th question. And the 24th question, what it asks? It asks about the explain the explain the role of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, very important personality. Bal Gangadhar Tilak in Bal Gangadhar Tilak in the freedom struggle or in the freedom movement, in the freedom struggle or in the freedom movement. About whom? About the role of Bal Gangadhar Tilak it is. Another side, what are the uses of, okay, now it's a GPS system, it's a global positioning system, GPS system. We are going to mention about which one, about the what are the uses of GPS system it is. Okay, justify how, we are going to justify how India achieved overall development overall development during 5 year plan. Okay, during 5 year plan, justify how India achieved overall development during the 5 year plan. Another question, what are the what are the effects of cyclones? What are the effects of cyclones? Our 28th question, okay, it's about differentiate between the say permanent jamindari and rayatwari system. Permanent jamindari and rayatwari system. The question is from the history topic. Okay, so differentiate, you are going to mention it. Okay, again very important question from the history. Battle of Plassey. Now, Battle of Plassey was the first step. First step. Battle of Plassey was the first step to the British. To the British. To the British. Battle of Plassey was the first step to the British to to establish power establish power in India. In India. Okay. What you are going to do? You are going to substantiate the statement. This statement, which is this statement? The statement is about Battle of Plassey was the first step to the British to establish power in India. Okay. This is the question. Our 30th question, what it asked? Okay, the 30th question is again, differentiate, how are organized workers different from unorganized workers, how they are different from, okay, unorganized workers. And the 31st question, what it is? Conservation conservation. Okay, conservation of soils, of soil is essential. Conservation of soil is essential. Why? Okay, why the conservation of soil is essential? So explain the role of Bal Gangadhar Tilak in the freedom struggle. What are the uses of GPS system? Justify how India achieved overall development during 5-year plan. What are the effects of cyclones? Differentiate between the permanent zamindari and rayatwari system. Battle of Plassey was the first step to the British to establish power in India. You have to substantiate how are organized workers different from unorganized workers, and conservation of soil. Okay, why it is necessary, that you are going to mention. Okay, let us go with a few more questions, dear. Okay, what it is going to ask to us. We have completed now 31 questions are been over. Now let us see few more questions. Okay, these questions are very important. Once if you did it perfectly, you are ready for the exam. The question is related to 32nd question. Mention the reforms. No repeated questions. Okay, all our questions are different are there. So mention the reforms of the Satya Shodhak Samaj. Which Samaj it is? About the Satya Shodhak Samaj you are going to mention. Next, the 33rd question it is, what were the effects? What were the effects? What were the effects of the Battle of Buxar? What were the effects of Battle of Buxar? Okay, 34th question. The government of India, the government of India, the government of India is struggling hard. The government of India is struggling hard to eradicate to eradicate illiteracy. Okay, you are going to justify now. The government of India is struggling hard for what? To eradicate the illiteracy. The next one, what it is that? Okay, very simple question now. Name the eastern and western. Name the eastern and western coastal ports of India. Okay, both side, eastern as well as western coastal. What you are going to mention? Ports of which? Ports of India. Another side, 36th question. Okay, the explain the conditions of subsidiary alliance. 3 marks question. Permanent, again fixed question it is. Okay, 6 points which are there you are going to mention. Explain the condition of subsidiary alliance. Right. Another side. How are how are direct taxes? How are direct taxes different? How are direct taxes different from indirect taxes? Okay, again there you are going to little mention it. What are the direct taxes? How are direct taxes different from the indirect taxes? And the 38th question, what it is at? What are the characteristics? What are the characteristics of What are the characteristics of an entrepreneur? Of whom? Of the entrepreneur. What are the characteristics you are going to mention? Of whom? Of the entrepreneur. Okay, so 38th question, what it is? What are the characteristics of an entrepreneur? The very 39th question, what it asks to us, 39th, it's about explain the factors. Explain the factors of Raytwari system. What are the factors of which one? Of the Rayatwari system. So mention the reforms of Satyashodak Samaj. What were the effects of Battle of Buxar? The government of India is struggling hard to eradicate illiteracy. How justify? What are the provisions are being made? Name the eastern and western coastal parts of India. Explain the conditions of subsidiary lines. How are direct tax different from indirect tax? What are the characteristics of entrepreneur? And explain how the factors of Rayatwari system, or explain the factors of Rayatwari system it is been there. Okay, let us go with our 40th question. So these are the very important questions of which belongs to of how many marks? 3 marks are been there. So our 40th question, what it is there? It's about, okay, our 40th question. Question number 40. The question number 40 is regarding the explain the revolt. Explain the explain the revolt of now Sangoli Rayana, of Sangoli Rayana against whom? Against the British. Against whom? Against British. Okay, revolt of whom? Of the Sangoli Rayana, because Sangoli is a very prominent leader who played a very major role in saving the motherland. Okay, another side the question: how do women become? How do women become? How do women become the cause of? How do women become the cause? Sorry, for the rural development. How do women become the cause for the rural development? Okay, the question is that. Another side, which are the 8 industrial zones are there? Okay, which are the industrial reasons of India? Okay, of which one? Of India. Which are the industrial 8 industrial regions are been there, right? Okay, another side, the 43rd question is what india has taken India has taken firm steps in, okay, firm steps in controlling terrorism. Controlling what? Controlling terrorism, that you are going to justify. Okay, you are going to what to do? You are going to justify. India has taken firm steps in controlling terrorism. Justify, you are going to do it. Okay, another side, the very general question again: how is road road transport more important? How is road transport more important than than any other mode any other mode of transport in India? You are going to mention it. Okay, well, how is the road transport more important than any other mode of transportation in India? The 45th question. Okay. How is black soil? How is black soil? How is black soil different? How is black soil different from laterite soil? Okay. How is black soil different from the laterite soil? Another side. 46. The question. How are evergreen how are evergreen forests different from deciduous forest? So differentiate between the home between the evergreen as well as the deciduous forest you are going to mention. Another 47th. Okay, 47th is explain the significance of public finance. Explain the significance of each one of the public finance. Right? What are the significance of the public finance? Right? And again, explain the revolt of Sangoli Rayana against British. How do women become the cause for the rural development? Which are the industrial regions of India? India has taken firm steps in controlling terrorism. Justify. How is road transport more important than any other mode of transport in India? How is black soil different from laterite soil? How are evergreen forests different from deciduous? And explain the significance of public finance. And last three more questions, dear. Very, very important. Three questions. Okay. Now, these three, after completion of this, these 50 questions are nothing but they are the boost in the preparation of your annual exam of the subject social science. It is. Okay. And our 48th question, what it is? It's about police system. Police system underwent underwent police system underwent continuous changes continuous changes during the british during the british during the british administration. How you are going to say? Okay. How the police system underwent continuous changes? What are the basic principles? Explain the basic principles. Explain the basic principles of Indian foreign policy. Basic principles we are going to mention it is. Okay. And the last one it is related to 50th question. It's regarding unemployment. Unemployment has become a a serious social problem. How? How unemployment has become a serious social problem. So police system underwent continuous changes during the British administration. How? Explain the basic principles of Indian foreign policy. Unemployment has become the serious social problem. How? So these all 50 questions were related to our 3 marks questions are been there. If you go through properly through these 3 marks questions, definitely you are going to get some good marks related. And two more or no, for 2 to 3 more are been there questions related to the 3 marks only. 51st question, it's regarding the uh, What are the aims? What are the aims and objectives of UNO? Okay, few more questions are there, very important. This is there, and explain the reasons. Explain the reasons for child marriage. Explain the reasons for child marriage practices in India. Okay, explain the reasons for the child marriage practices in India. It is. The question is, it's about the question. And uh, the 53rd question: how does the government generate how does the government generate revenue from many sources? Many sources. How does the government generate revenue from many sources are we there? Okay, and the last question, 54th question, it is: what methods what methods what methods should be followed what method should be followed to file a file a case in a consumer court? Okay, these are the end of the all the number of questions. I will repeat it. Police system underwent continuous changes during the British administration. How? Explain the basic principles of Indian foreign policy. Unemployment have become a serious social problem. How? What are the aims and objectives of UNO? Explain the reasons for child marriage practices in India. How does the government generate revenue from many sources? And the last one, what method should be followed to file a case in a consumer court? So total 54 questions of 3 marks. Dear viewers, dear students, go through these all questions, take the help of your teachers, your mentors, and make perfect for your exam. Be tuned with me in my next session where I'm going to bring the 4 marks questions. And lastly, we will end up these all most likely questions with the marking of the map. So be tuned with me and make others to also be the part of the Skugar Social Academy, so that all together we can work for the better of the future.